All right, folks, we're going to continue this conversation with Mark Simone, WOR radio host, and Alec Lace, host of the First Class Fatherhood podcast. Gentlemen, welcome back. It's time for change. Mark, I have a bulletin for you. Joe Biden is going to remain as president. He's going to be the Democratic candidate for president. He will not be taken out by the 25th Amendment or other plots from Kamala Harris. None of the above. That's all. I'm just challenging you. Please feel free to disagree. Don't jump out of the chair, but just anything you want.
We're lucky he's available. So doing a hell of a job. You know,
Yeah.
380 million people in this country. We've got this guy. This doesn't make any sense. 380 million people. We got Kamala Harris as vice president. I don't think Biden makes it. You know, whenever there's something that takes out a president, whether it was Watergate or whatever, it takes weeks and weeks and weeks for it to really sink in and do the job. So I don't think Biden gets out of this. You already see the vultures circling. Hillary is all over television. Kamala Harris wants to take over.
Mrs. Wilson will not allow it. Mrs. Wilson, a.k.a. Mrs. Biden, will not allow it. Alec, you got to explain it. So let me get this right. We're going to have a cabinet meeting. And surprise, Kamala stands up and says, Joe, it's time for you to go. Everyone who agrees with me, raise your hand, and he's out. I mean, I've been to many cabinet meetings in my time. That's not how it works. I don't believe this for a second.
No, and listen, let's be honest. Kamala Harris is the DEI vice president. She's not there. She's only there because she's a woman of color, not because she can lead. The only thing she's leading people to is the word salad bar, right? She's accomplished nothing. I feel dumber every time I listen to her speak. I think most Americans would agree. And let's see, I think that, you know, she matches up well with Trump. I think Trump would bury her in an election in November. But there's going to be other fish to fry there. I think you're going to see Michelle Obama throw her hat in the ring, maybe a Gavin Newsom. I don't think there's any way that Biden makes it to the
Hats are
starting
already in the ring.
Yeah, I think we'll
Gavin.
see one of those two. I think it'll be
But
Gavin
how do you get rid of Biden? You think Biden, you think party elders like Durbin, I don't know, Mitch McConnell, who maybe forgets he's a Republican, I don't know how this, Chuck Schumer, they go, it's like Watergate, and they say you got it to Nixon. But you'll never convict Biden of a crime. He doesn't have his marbles. The whole country knows he doesn't have his marbles. But there's not going to be a don't have your marbles test. They'll never allow it. Again, Mrs. Wilson will not allow a don't have your marbles test.
There's still a lot of opportunity for Biden to fall down the steps of the plane again. As something like that could happen, falls in the tub. I mean, something like that could take him out. I mean, he could go out at any minute, this guy.
Hey, at this point in 1968, Lyndon Johnson was not going anywhere. At the end of March, it was a whole different matter. It takes a while. And if you've got Kamala Harris watching your back, you're in real trouble.
Robert Kennedy ran that ad during the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and the whole country freaked out against it.
Yeah.
This is not a good start.
No.
I mean, really, and then he had to apologize. And, I mean, it wasn't that bad. It was a retro ad. He was obviously borrowing from his uncle, and no one liked it. So tell me again, who's going to challenge Biden?
If he drops out, you're going to have a primary.
Dropped out? Where's he going to drop out? I mean, wait a second. Karine Jean-Pierre said today he works every hour harder than anybody she knows. I just didn't know which hour she was referring to during the day. He doesn't work an hour, but you'll never know that.
In her world, I believe her. I don't think anybody works there.
Lace, help me. I mean, let's be realistic politically. How does this happen? I don't believe it.
I think the only way it does happen is if he decides not to run. They're not going to impeach him, unfortunately. They're not going to get him out of office. He's not, you know, I think the only way it works is if he says, I'm not going to run again.
He's going to have to do it.
That's the only way it happens.
He'd have to get very sick or something, and then he would take himself out, and his wife will take him out. That's the only way that'll happen.
Yeah, and that would be what we would need to see. But then again, I think both of them match up great against Trump. All these people. I think Trump is going to sail right into office here after the November elections. I don't think Biden stands a chance against him this time. We can see, obviously, the guy's not cognitively there. You're going to have. I still say you're not going to see him in November on the ticket. I find it hard to believe. One way or the other, by hook or by crook, this guy ain't going to be there. I don't know. I don't see it.
We're going to bring in Massey Phillip in just a minute. This is kind of a bellwether for this whole story that Alec and you were describing. Alec Lace, thank you. Mark Simone, thank you. Joe Biden taking a marbles test. I don't see